What is going on, Dominators? David Dominator here, back with possibly the last video um, before the XFL kicks off. We are officially at the 20-day mark. 20 days left until the XFL kicks off on Saturday, the 18th, I believe. Um, don't kill me on that. I don't know. You would think that for somebody who makes XFL content, you would and has been prepared for this. Um, doesn't know the exact date. Um, the 18th. Okay. So, which is not far away. February starts next week. Well, by the time you guys see this, yeah, probably next week, yeah. Um, it's the 29th. We have 2 more days of January. This year's kind of already started off a little, it kind of slowed down at the first of the month. That's how it always does. But when I'm looking at this schedule right now and I'm like, wow, like, we are really almost there. Like, my weeks are always different because I flip house to house, right? Um, and it feels different, and it messes with me because it's like I go to my dad's, and the next week when I'm with my dad, the XFL season kicks off. I'm at this setup one more time, and then I'm back over there, and we're watching XFL. Um, it's crazy. I want to talk about leading up this and why I think this is the last video. The reason why I think this is the last video, by the way, um, obviously, uh, I think it's gonna be the last video because there's not really much I feel like I can explain nor do at this point. The only thing is possible depth chart video coming up. We don't know anybody who has had certain spots taken from them. There's one thing I wanted to comment on because I actually don't agree with any of this. But I want to look at this and the power rankings that somebody created, and I want to explain to you guys mine too. But one thing at a time. Until a depth chart gets in, I'm probably gonna make a video because my reactions are also gonna be changed because right now I have something in my mind that a lot of these teams I think are very well put together. I think Arlington is one of those teams that are really well put together. I think Seattle is a decent team. Brahmas is a different team. Is a decent team. Um, and I honestly think Vegas might have a really good shot. Um, I'll explain why. And I'm trying to get bias out of it. Obviously, I'm trying to get biased out of it because I'm really trying to think about something that I could truly do. The seasons are right around the corner. Like I said, we have 20 days. We have to assume that the depth chart will probably be produced by. You would think that they would start creating the depth chart now and have a full week of running down the teams. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the 10th they had a full roster breakdown. I'm about to sneeze, but a full roster breakdown and order. Excuse me. I would not be shocked at the quarterbacks, and because that's another thing too. We don't know what quarterbacks are going to be who. Will Jordan Teamu get the starting job? Will he be the backup? Will Francois be the number one guy? Will Brian Scott or will Luis Perez? That's probably one of the biggest quarterback rooms in the NFL. XFL. Sorry, the playoffs are like about to start here in like 30, 40 minutes. So now I'm getting in my head like, oh my god, playoffs are starting. Playoffs are starting. Um, but I think that these teams are crazy good. I think you really can't think about how teams are going to be depth wise due to the fact that, okay, let's really just take a moment and think about this for a minute. We always have one good team, one bad team. It's happened from the AAF, it's happened in the last XFL, it happened in the USFL. There's always one bad team and one really good team. Um, and one good team that normally either goes undefeated or loses only like 1 or 2 games. Um, and I don't know who that team is, honestly. When you look at all these teams, there's a few. There's probably like two that I really think that might have rough times, and um, that's it's hard because you really can't. You just can't really predict it, right? That's why these power rankings are way too early, in my opinion. And even by week one, two, and three, they're not gonna matter. People do this with NFL, people do this with basketball, people do this with baseball, people do this with every sport, and that's why I kind of like the way I roll is that I overreact with the people, but I also when I overreact, I really look at the other side of it. Like let's just try to use an example. When my Steelers beat the Bengals and everyone was like the Bengals suck. I was like it's the first game of the year. The Steelers defense is really good. The offense wasn't good. The only reason why they won that game was because of the defense. I think the offense will get it figured out. And look at what's happened. They're in the AFC Championship when everyone wrote them off. So me taking a moment to really be like, okay, yeah, they sucked that game, but will they suck in 15 weeks from now? Let's see. Um, and once again, they're in the AFC Championship for the second year in a row, and they could quite possibly go to the Super Bowl and win. And I don't really support the Bengals, but I do support Joey Burrow, and I think that if he went and won a ring, I would not be disappointed because Joe Burrow is one of my favorite quarterbacks. Yeah, it was kind of hard seeing him go to the Bengals, but it is what it is. I knew he was going somewhere. Um, I would rather have I think I would, in my opinion, I would rather have them have Joe Burrow than Chase Young. But um, off topic. um, but that's why I want to bring a lot of more sports videos into this channel because I do talk a lot. That's why I kind of want to start maybe like a weekly stream where I just talk about sports and I upload the whole video or the whole thing to YouTube. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if you guys want that. We'll see. But because I do want to bring more sports into it. Anyways, back to the XFL. More importantly, so the first 3 weeks is very difficult to determine if a team's going to be good or not. Now, you kind of saw in the first week of the XFL, you saw the teams that are good. DC looked really good, but then they fell 2 games in a row, very bad to very bad teams, and that was a question mark. You saw towards the end of the last 2 games of the season, Seattle almost beat Houston. There was a controversial call that maybe would have pushed the game to overtime, um, and that's something to think about. And I think that this league is something so unique because you need to really take a minute into like 5-6 weeks to see which team is going to get their stuff figured out first. I would say by week 4, most teams will have a identity. Now, teams are building their identities now, but by week 2, they've already have a game plan. They already have what they want to do. By week 3, they implement it. They change what they need to. Week 4 and week 5, we start figuring them out. Um, we're gonna figure out what quarterbacks are the ones and which ones aren't. That's the thing about a lot of these QBs is that you notice that a lot of teams have one very mobile quarterback and one very in the pocket gonna throw. Example: Luis Perez. He's more of a I'm gonna stay in the pocket. I'm gonna launch this wherever I need to. And then the other example is Brian Scott, who is literally a mobile quarterback and who could be one of the MVP candidate, who is one of my early, if we're gonna say quarterback MVP, he's already in the conversation. Francois is a mobile quarterback. I almost said Tua. Wow, I'm gonna get hate for that. Um, Jordan Teamu, he's a guy who's obviously mobile. He could use his legs when he needs to. So you got mobile quarterbacks, and when you have mobile quarterbacks, those are always different because you could use them as options, and even if they're not the starter, and that's why it's so questionable on who's going to be starting because I feel like Scott is going to get the starting job in Vegas, which is going to be weird because what does that mean for Perez? Now, I think that having those two is already a very great quarterback room because they have the most experience, some of the most experience out of a lot of these guys. Now, we're 10 minutes in this video. I do want to get to this power ranking. Um, now these are just, don't mind them. This is at the XFL News Hub. He even made a video about this. So guys, don't take this to heart. Because these are not even these are similar, but not so similar to what I have as my power rankings. Number 1, or should we say number 8, the Orlando Guardians. I thought this was interesting. I think they said a 2-8 type campaign. We all have, they're that team that they're predicting they're going to be that team that has struggles and that's not going to be successful. This one shocked me, to be honest. The Battlehawks, ranked 7 to 3 on this list, are very comparable. Ranked 7 to 3 are very comparable. Interesting. The Battlehawks have a lot of things going in their favor. Quarterback room is sound. First time head coach. Here's the thing. All of these guys, there's only like 3-4 guys that actually have experience coaching. There's a few. Vipers are at number 6. That shocked me. They talk about the quarterback room. I wish they all had kind of like what their prediction would be, but since they're gonna be ranked at 6, and these guys had like 2-8, so we'll assume like 2-8 were the Guardians, 3-4 game wins out of here, 4, 5, 6 win. I don't know, and then Houston's at number 5, and then the top 4 teams are Seattle, which would be one of the top team, or no, the second best team. These 4 teams are making the playoffs technically. Seattle, the Brahmas, the Defenders, who would be on top of the division, and then Seattle would be right there, and then Brahmas would be second, and Arlington
Hyundai Elantra versus Nissan Sentra. Look what Elantra has.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't disagree. I don't agree. I don't disagree because we don't know. The reason why I have so much, other than the bias, if I take the bias out of it, if I use my sports brain, which is very well done, I feel like when you look on paper, the Vipers are that team that is sneaky good. They have a star wide receiver. They have other talent. Their defense, when you have a defensive-minded head coach, let's be honest here, I wouldn't be shocked if that defense is scary. And I've seen pictures and stuff, and it looks like they've already got some guys. They have already determined what guys are gonna be number 1, and I think that's an interesting thing. We're gonna have to see how this rolls, man. This is gonna be very interesting. The reason why I think Vegas is up top 2 is because of their quarterback room. Plus, they have Martavis Bryant, who really came out of the woodworks and nobody expected. Now, when you put Gordon in there, it's kind of like, okay, well, now we have more experience. Now it's questionable. So, if I had to, let's look at the divisions real fast. If I had to say tomorrow, who are the top teams, in my opinion, the top teams and how the rankings will be towards the end of the year, I think Seattle is number 1 in the North. Vegas is number 2, but they're going to be pretty close. DC Defenders and then the Battlehawks, or one of those will flip. I think Renegades are the best team in the XFL. I think that's a fact. They have good punters. They have good receivers. They have good special teams. They have good everything. They really do. They got super lucky. I think the only question is, will their quarterbacks produce, and will their Just will their game? Because another thing that people forget too is that like if you get a good running back in this league too, you'll be all right. And I think that a few teams that have good running backs, like obviously DC does. I think Vegas has a decent one because one of the running backs they picked up was the second leading rusher in the XFL in 2020. Obviously, 3 years things could change, but that's just something to look at when you hear that. I do think Roughnecks are number one. I honestly do think Brahmas will be number two. Houston is going to be close, and I think Orlando. I don't know, man. If I had to make my own power rankings, I think it's Renegades number one, Sea Dragons number two, Brahmas number three, Vipers number four, DC Defenders number five, Roughnecks at six, and then Battlehawks or Guardians. You could pick or choose which one. I'm gonna honestly put them just like the power rankings: 7 Battlehawks, 8 and Guardians. I think the Guardians are gonna have a rough time, seeing that I think the Brahmas and Renegades are gonna be the best teams in that division. I think you're gonna have a rough time. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe you guys think I'm biased. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I believe I made a video about what my plans were for the season. If not, I'm gonna kind of shed some light on it right here before the end of this video. My goal and plan is to have a video posted every week or something. Whether it's about a power, it might be a lot of videos put together. It might just be a few every week, or during the week. So expect I think a power rankings video. I think we might look at the XFL News Hub and see where they rank there, or personally where I rank them. Who I think were the best players of the week. Maybe we do plays of the week. Maybe we look at some highlights. Once again, some of this content will also be on Twitch. So make sure you guys follow that because I might look at highlights during Twitch and try to break some film, break down film. I do that a lot. I did that during free agency. I remember I did that with Mitch and Kenny. I broke down what both of them did very well, which both of them did poorly. And I think so far, if I saved that stream and posted it, I think I would look smart because I think pretty much everything I said came to fruition. I think it's cool that I could do that. But yeah, man, here we go. Saturday, February 18th will be the Vipers taking on the Arlington Renegades. That's a big game because depending on who the quarterback is for Vegas, if Brian Scott can fucking take him out, if he can win them that game, you gotta show up. You gotta show out. We're gonna have to see who has a better defense. We're gonna see 4 teams that have really good defenses and 4 teams that don't. 4 teams that have good offenses, 4 teams that don't. So we're gonna see. We start the week off, like I said, after the Vegas and Renegades game. We have Guardians at Houston. Then the next day we have St. Louis at the Brahmas and Seattle at the Defenders. So should be a very, very fun day. Very fun games. And then I won't jump ahead to the next week because we're not there yet. So thank you guys for watching. What are you guys' opinions? What are your guys' power rankings? That's probably something I want to know. What's your guys' power rankings before the season? Name your starting QBs. Like I said, this is probably the last XFL video until kickoff. Unless a depth chart comes out and depth charts come out and I want to talk about them, maybe we come back to this video and we rearrange power rankings by then. But other than that, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys at kickoff. Like this video if you liked it. Oh, by the way, depending on how I work it out, let me know if you guys want me to stream live on Twitch the game. my live reaction of the game. It's gonna be different. It's not gonna be this setup. Um, I might do that every week, or every other week at least. So maybe not week 1, but maybe on Thursday or maybe on Saturday when Vegas and goes against DC. Expect maybe that being a stream. Um, so look out for those. Follow everything down below. Everything should be in the description below. If not, you guys see everything right here. Just type it in your social media pages. Alright, like this video if you liked it. Comment down below what you guys think. And let me give me some ideas too. If you guys want me to also build a community, I want to really do start like XFL. We're starting new. Let me know if you want to build a community. Maybe we make a Discord. Maybe we try to get other creators kind of together. That'd be cool if we could have multiple opinions at the same time. Because all I want to do is expand the brand, expand my name, and expand everyone else. So that's going to be it. Dominate the world, Dominators, because David the Dominator is out. Peace. Have a good day, beautiful people.